I'm Ben Malcolmson, author of Walk On. Walk On is a story of how I tried out to the #1 football team in the country, the USC Trojans, as a college journalism major. Now, I hadn't played football since 5th grade, and I was going out to try out for the football team just to write an article for the school newspaper. I went through the tryout. I get a phone call 2 days later saying I made the football team. Now, my life took a total turn at that moment. I ended up being on the football team for that 1 year. I overcame injury and battled back with the support of a lot of students and fans, the Get Ben In campaign, and ended up making it into a game. But the coolest part of the story is that God had a purpose through it from day one, that God had me on that team for a divine calling, that He had me there for a reason. And the story takes a journey through what is that reason. And it led through the death of a teammate. It led through a move to Seattle as I continued to work for Coach Carroll as his special assistant. And the fruition of the story is that God had an incredible plan all from the start to save the life of one teammate of mine and change many lives throughout the process. And it's just an incredible story of how God desires to write stories through each one of our lives, that He desires to do incredible things through each one of us, and He has an incredible purpose for each one of us. I wrote Walk On because I wanted to encourage people to know that God has a purpose for each one of their lives, that God is writing a story through each person's life that is far greater than you could ever ask or imagine, that God is doing things in your days that you would not believe even if you were told. And I want people to know through reading this story that God has a purpose for you, that God is doing incredible work through each person, that He's calling people to a purpose that is far greater than we could even think of ourselves.